WrestleMania 40. Man, this one right here really just changed everything. It gave us new champions, historic title reigns ending, stories being finished, and the greatest WrestleMania I personally ever witnessed. We're really in a new era of WWE, and it just feels special. For the past few years, WWE's been getting better little by little. From all the way back in 2020, when Roman came back as a tribal chief and became the biggest heel in the company. That was a moment that completely changed wrestling for the better. And with that, we started getting amazing storytelling from the bloodline. And once Cody Rhodes came back to WWE, we had a perfect good guy that was so easy to get behind. Almost every kid and every fan would start to root for Cody Rhodes. Then at Survivor Series 2023, we got two returns that we all wanted. First, we got Randy Orton. After a career-threatening back injury, he was back, RKOing people off of cages. But like 5 minutes later, we got the return I've been waiting for almost 10 years, CM Punk. And he wanted smoke with anyone and everyone. But after the 2024 Royal Rumble, we got one last return that was gonna change the game forever. The Rock. Bro, so with all the returns and all the good changes the WWE's been making over the years, the company was destined to have a generational WrestleMania. And WrestleMania 40 did just that. This WrestleMania gave every fan a moment they would love. It had something for everyone. If you were a fan that wanted a dream match, well, what about the opener match at night 1, where we had the Man vs. Mommy, Becky Lynch vs. Rhea Ripley. This was simply just a dream match with two icons, and those two didn't disappoint. Now, if you were a fan that loved extreme matches, well, we had that too. Bro, the 6-way ladder match gave us those extreme moments, and it was lit. They gave us moments for the young people, like when ISO Speed pulled up and got RKO'd. Bro, that was mad funny. And then for the grown-ups that love cinema, well, we got a lot of that. But the first match that gave us that was Sammy vs. Gunther. This is honestly one of my favorite matches of the whole show. Just the way Sammy did his entrance was special. First he saw his family, the people he was fighting for. Then he saw Chad Gable, the person that trained him to fight Gunther. Then he saw Kevin Owens, Sammy's best friend, the person that was always there for him through the highs and the lows. And if you weren't rooting for Sammy before, well, after Sammy's entrance, you definitely started to. And once the match started, it told a great story on how Gunther really underestimated Sammy. He started becoming careless and cocky, doing the same moves over and over, even though he had the match won. And that's what led to his downfall. Because throughout the match, Sammy wouldn't give up. He kept fighting and fighting, and he ended up shocking the world again and dethroned Gunther, the greatest Intercontinental Champion ever. Like I said, this WrestleMania was truly great. Another moment that really caught me by surprise was when Damian Priest finally cashed in his Money in the Bank. And it was actually successful. Man, CM Punk really cost Drew McIntyre the World's Heavyweight Championship right after he won it. And bro, their feud is gonna cook so hard, and I can't wait. Then we had fun matches like AJ Styles vs. LA Knight and a triple threat match for the US Championship. This was really just an all-around great WrestleMania. And don't forget about Bayley vs. Io. The story they told for this feud was simple. It was the teacher versus student, and the student betrayed her teacher, so it's only right they had a match at WrestleMania. And bro, this match was amazing. It's a match that I definitely have to go back and watch again, cause it was super fire. I also love that there were no distractions and it was just a one-on-one. This definitely made Io look like a superstar in a big match like this, and it solidified Bayley as one of the greatest women wrestlers ever. So with that being said, WrestleMania was a success for everyone, but that wasn't even everything. The biggest part of WrestleMania 40, the thing that every fan wanted to see, the thing every celebrity came to watch, was the story of the bloodline. All around the world, no one knew what was gonna happen, but everyone had their own theories. Is The Rock gonna betray Roman? Is Seth gonna betray Cody? Is Roman's title run really gonna end? Was Cody really gonna finish his story? No one knew what was gonna happen, and that's what made it so much more special. The Bloodline's WrestleMania 40 started with Jay vs Jimmy, Yeet vs No Yeet. Man, the promo package for this match was insane. It showed their whole journey from kids to becoming tag champs to now being ops. This was a dream match that both brothers wanted, and it happened at the grandest stage of them all. But this was the match that a lot of fans really disliked. People hated that it became a battle of super kicks. But for me personally, I enjoyed this match, and I definitely don't think it was the worst match of the show. This match did its job, and Jay beat his twin at WrestleMania. For the night one main event, we got the biggest tag team match in wrestling history. This was also one of the best builds for a WrestleMania main event. This was a highly anticipated match that everyone wanted to see. Roman Reigns and The Rock versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. If the Bloodline wins, Roman vs Cody 2 would be Bloodline rules. But if Rollins and Cody wins, the Bloodline would be barred from ringside for the Roman vs Cody match. So the stakes were high, and all four of them knew how important this match was gonna be. Now the match did take some time to really go crazy, but when it was that time, the match became a war. From fighting in the crowd, to taking table spots, to spears through the barricade, this match gave you everything you wanted to see. And at the peak of the match, where every fan is going crazy, where it looks like Roman Reigns is gonna end everything, he misses a spear and accidentally spears The Rock. This right here is definitely gonna lead to a match between them one day. It just has to. That was one of the biggest moments of the match. Then Cody starts to take over the match, and we see Cody go for 3 crossroads on Roman. It was the same way he tried to end Roman last year. But before he could hit the last one, Rock hit Cody with his belt, and the match became a nightmare. Rock ended Cody and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And just like that, night 1 of WrestleMania 40 ended, and it gave us really bad flashbacks. We start off night 2 with a World Heavyweight Championship match. After Rollins tried to fight the battle of the Bloodline with Cody Rhodes, he had to fight his own battles with Drew McIntyre. But it still wasn't enough. Seth Rollins lost everything at WrestleMania 40, all for the chance of the Bloodline being defeated. And even though they lost that battle, the war wasn't finished. The main event of WrestleMania 40 was a rematch of last year's WrestleMania main event. Cody Rhodes vs Roman Reigns. This was the most important match of them all. For 2 years, since Cody came back to WWE, he's been talking about finishing a story, winning a title his father never won, and this was gonna be his final chance. And for Roman Reigns, he's been holding this title since 2020, since the freaking pandemic. He's on a run that people dream about, something that no one ever even thought was possible. And those two wrestlers put it all on the line to be number 1. Just like the year before, they gave us something special, something that no fan could ever forget. And going into it, everyone knew it was the end game. Starting with the big entrances from both of them, it gave us that energy that something big was about to go down. And it was more than big. It was some of the greatest moments in pro wrestling history. From Jimmy coming out to help Roman, to Jay coming out to stop Jimmy. Then Solo came out to help Roman, and John Cena came out. And he was there to get back on Solo for the last time that they fought. And just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, well, the final boss came out. And we got a once-in-a-lifetime face-off. A face-off that meant so much to the fans that grew up in the PG era. But once Rock dropped Cena, we heard the Shields music. And everyone thought for a second that Dean Ambrose was finna come out. But it was Seth Rollins, and he got taken out with the quickness. This man fought 2 matches, lost his championship, and he still came out to try and fight. You gotta respect that. And the last Avenger to come out to take out The Rock was The Undertaker. He took out The Rock and left. This ending right here was straight out of a movie. It felt like just dream booking with your action figures. But this storytelling became next level. Roman was by himself, a chief without a tribe, and the same weapon that started all of this was sitting in the ring. And the brother that betrayed Roman was right there too. For the weeks ahead of WrestleMania, Rollins told Cody he was gonna be his shield. And Rollins truly meant what he said. He knew Roman's biggest weakness. We saw Roman turn his back at Cody Rhodes and attack Seth Rollins the same way Rollins betrayed him 10 years ago. This was really deep, and this moment right here felt so special. It really felt like it was straight out of a Saw movie. And this was Roman's downfall. He lost everything because he couldn't let go of his past. But for Cody, he won everything. He finished the story and won a title his father never won. This was the reason he came back to the WWE. This is what made Cody work 2 times harder than the next, and he achieved his dreams. Everyone came out after the match to celebrate him, and it was a moment that no fan will ever forget. It was a moment that was emotional, but yet so beautiful. A moment that Cody Rhodes deserved. Pro wrestling is on fire, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But for Roman Reigns, he deserved all his flowers. Since 2020, he's held it down for the WWE. This reign right here means so much to me because I'm not doing wrestling videos without it. I'm not even watching wrestling again without it. This reign played a big part of me starting to watch WWE again in 2021, and for these past few years, Roman and the Bloodline has given me endless of fun memories of watching wrestling. So thank you, and thank you guys for watching.